Schneider at the dish for Heidelberg, and he's going to lead it off with a double to the left center gap. Great effort coming up here by the left fielder on the play. Unfazed Austin Zients as he would strand the runner on second and get the strikeout to end the inning. 2 runners on, Zach Malloy drives one into the first run of the game with an RBI single through the right side of the infield. Diego DiCello is going to line a baseball right here to the second baseman, and Schneider goes up and snags it out of the air. What a play. Second inning, the catcher Bryce Bogan rips the ball down the third baseline as he cruises into second with a leadoff double. But that's all Logan Walpole would allow, getting the punch out to end the second inning. The Student Princes would get on the board with this home run from Braden Tucker as Heidelberg trails 2-1. In the fourth inning, Jamison and Brescia lines one right back up the middle for the RBI single as the Pioneers would go on to score 8 runs over the next 5 innings. Marietta College would take game 1 of the doubleheader with a 10-2 victory.